Today's video is about missing out on the adventure. I don't want you to miss out on any part of your adventure, whether it is fishing, hunting, or boating. So that's what today's video is all about. So get yourself a cup of coffee, settle down, and let's go see what today's video is about. Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We're in the trapping shed today. Hotter than blazes out there. I got started early this morning. I knew by noontime it was going to be hot, so I figured I'd get the outside stuff done and then move on into the shop. And I've got to redo some traps, getting them legal for the state of Maine. I had some great subscribers that mailed me some traps last year. Stacy was one, Bart King was another one, and Kevin Smith was another one. So thank you guys very much for helping out, getting me off the ground. Last year was busy, so this year last year I was building the cabin, if you remember, so that took me, oh boy, right into November. So I really didn't have any time at all for trapping. This year, I'm a little bit ahead of the ball game. Trapping season here starts in October, so things are lining up a lot better than they did last year. I have been busy, as you guys been following along. We've been building all the tree stands over there and setting up the bear stand site and setting up the bear bait, all of that. So not enough hours in a day and not enough days in a week. But anyways, this year's trapping season is going to be going off on time. I got one more month. I need to get a bunch of traps ready. I'm starting out with the raccoons October 1st, and then I'm going to take the coyote traps through deer season and right into December. So I'm setting up those two traps right now. I've got a grandson that was just dying to get out there and start raccoon trapping. So, and then after that will be the beaver. But Bart had sent me some beaver traps, so looking forward to getting those out there. I've got a couple of spots picked out. I'm not sure if I'll get into that in October or not. I'll find out. I'll see how much time we've got in there, because I'm still trapping bear. I will be. October is for bear season, so it's going to depend on if I can get that bear knocked down in September or not to what happens in October. So we'll see what happens. It's hunting, it's fishing, it's schedules and everything else. So we'll see how it all plays out. Your guess is as good as mine. But anyways, I'm in the shop today, and I had a great topic that I kind of wanted to go over today. And the topic is especially if you're first starting out in fishing, hunting, trapping, or whatever, the topic is missing out on your adventure, missing out on a big part of your adventure. Which to me, every day is an adventure. When I go to the Beaver Creek, or I go to the Rustic log cabin, or I get in the boat and set off and start, my lake trout fishing and all that. Every single day is an adventure. And everything that you can add to that adventure makes the memory of it last longer. And that's my point. Missing out on an adventure. Missing out on the parts of your adventure. It's not the fishing part, it's not the hunting part, because you guys have probably got that down pat. But a big part, especially when I was raised up in this, I started when I was a young boy, a big part of this was building your own gear. Back then there was two reasons you built your own gear. One was you didn't have the money to purchase it. And two, a lot of times it didn't exist. Like you take all the tree stands that are on the market today. When I got into hunting, tree stands weren't on the market. not like they are today. There might have been some tree climbers out there. If I remember right, they had some seats that would hook into the tree off the ground. You kind of climb the tree and you put the thing on. If I remember the way it was, then that I do. Now, I was pretty poor then. So if they had them in the stores, maybe I just didn't see them or didn't look for them. But I know that definitely we didn't have the leaner tree stands and all that stuff. So I don't want to spend much time there. But getting back to building some of your own gear. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I picked up a scrap utility trailer for behind a four-wheeler. It was all junked out. You'll see that in this video. Most people would look at this. I picked this up yesterday, side the road for free. They would drive by that and look at that as just another piece of junk. I cut it up, saved all the good parts out of it, and this is the top half for my meat pole over at Beaver Creek Deer Camp. You know, taking the time to, if you followed any of these videos for the last 3 months, all summer we've been building hunt shacks and installing them out at Beaver Creek. What that's going to do, number one, it makes my grandsons proud as a peacock. You know, for one thing, you know, they got to see the tree stand here being built. They got to climb in it. They got to help work on it. And then they went from that to see it. Now, I didn't have them along for installation because that was some pretty big work and had to get done, and I had my nephews there to help put that together. But from years to come now, with that tree stand all built, all setting in place, we're going to set in our own tree stand that we built. And when you think back on the deer that you shot, or your family thinks back on the deer that you shot, you know, your grandkids or whatever, especially if you're just starting out, you're going to have fond memories of sitting in that tree stand when you shot your first buck or you shot your first bear. Because you know, for me anyways, that's all part of the adventure. What I can build to make my life easier and just plain happier out in the woods. Nothing I like any more than catching a trout or a lake trout on a streamer fly that I've tied, or I shot all of my deer, all of my bear with bullets that I built. You know, I've been a reloader for 35 plus years. So every animal that I've taken was taken with a bullet that I built. That's all part of the adventure. You know that you can build a bullet and you can take a deer, or you can build a bullet and you can take a bear. And to me, when you take that out of the equation, it's kind of like having a turnkey cabin. You know, if you buy a cabin and all you got to do is stick the key in the door and it's all set up, yes, that's really nice. It's a done deal. You walk in and you're using it. But I think you get more appreciation out of it and enjoy the cabin more when you're sitting next to the fireplace or you're sitting next to the campfire and you look over your shoulder and you see the cabin and you say, you know what? I built that cabin and my family's enjoying it. That's just a different way of looking at this stuff. And the same thing with you know, obviously we can't, well, I guess there are people that build guns. I don't build guns. But anything that you can build in your adventure, that you can build in your own shop, or you can take some junk and turn it into something useful, it just adds to the adventure. So, you know, learn some of these skills. If you've followed any of my channel at all, I'm creeping up on 500 videos, and it's always about skills. I don't care how old you are or how young you are, you can start to learn skills, and you can turn those skills into just different parts of your adventure. This whole video today is about adventure. Add to your adventure. Add to your adventure. Every day that I'm out in the woods, I'm scouting for everything. Not just deer sign. It's all part of the adventure. 2 days ago when I was out there, I stumbled upon some wild grapes. I've been out filling my bait, and now I'm about a mile from the cabin,
and doing some scouting. I had a trail here. I've been working on this trail. This goes in about 3/4 of a mile down on Beaver Creek from a different direction. I can almost get right to the water now, but what I wanted to show you was, look over there. I just stumbled across a whole bunch of grapes. That tree up there, you can't probably see, but each and every one of them limbs is just like an apple tree. It is covered with, they're not really wild grapes, because 100 years ago, I guess there was a farm here. But I've found these things before, and they are very good to eat. And you can see animals have been here munching on them. And I have made grape jelly out of stuff like this. But look in here. Look, beautiful. The only thing is, there's seeds in there. Ain't that sweet? Man could come here, pick all the grapes he wanted, and make all kinds of grape jelly. The things you find when you're scouting. Nice little snack. Doing a little scouting after filling up my bear baits. And I stumbled across this grape plant. It starts over there. You can see the vines. Travels across there. And it climbs that tree. And that tree is full of grapes right to the top. See the vines up on the top of that tree? They have completely overtaken that tree. And they travel that way, and you can see them out there hanging onto a spruce tree. But right now, this is just a nice little snack.
That's all part of the adventure. I grabbed 4 or 5 handfuls, sat on the six-wheeler, and had a little snack way back in the woods. Each little piece adds to the adventure. Now that particular day, a couple of years from now, I won't really remember it. But I will remember that I took time to find that grape patch. I took time to have a snack out of that grape patch. Sat there and enjoyed the wilderness while I had a lunch delivered to me from nature. And that's what I mean by adding to your adventure. It's building gear. It's taking time while you're there to enjoy the wilderness or to enjoy what you're doing out there. Each and every day that I spend at Beaver Creek making it that much better for hunting season, it is a grand adventure. This adventure's been going on now for two years. I just, I'm beaming ear to ear when I drive in there on my six-wheeler, and the cabin is sitting there waiting for me. So add to your adventure. Don't lose any part of your adventure to big tech, big business that wants to sell you absolutely everything that you need for your sport. And I've got some stuff that I've been working on. It'll come out here in the next couple of videos. I don't want to give away too much in this video because I'm putting a video together before and after, from junk to useful gear, and that's coming out soon, and you won't want to miss that, because I took a pile of junk, literal pile of junk that I picked up on the side of the road 3 days ago, and now it's a useful piece of equipment that is going into Beaver Creek, and it will be there for a long time. It's not gonna go anywhere. Just because, you'll see. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away right here, but you'll see what I mean. This will be something that I'm not only going to use, but my grandsons will be able to use it, and with any luck, my great-grandchildren will be able to use it. What I mean by that, as long as the property stays in the family, what I built this week, there will be many East Grand Woodsmen coming up behind me that will be able to use what I built this week. And I've got some big plans for Beaver Creek, and we're working on it right now. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up over the next couple of months. I can guarantee it. So have a coffee. I'll see you next week.